G'day and welcome to the Budding Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Randy Bridges. In each episode, I cover my experiences, both good and bad, of being a business owner, as well as my journey through the crazy world of entrepreneurship to reach my goal of earning $1 million a year. A lot of people don't have a good handle on prospecting and what the purpose is for it. We talked about this before. The purpose of a lot of marketing as a whole, you need to be known, you need to be liked, and you need to be trusted. Now, there's a lot of ways you can do that, but we've already kind of gone through and put a basic prospecting list together, and we created that list as our step one for the prospecting. That list can include people like your power base, your friends, your family, all the people that you regularly interact with, any groups that you have. It might include former customers, current customers, any clients you may have, anybody that you lost a sale to, anyone that you referred anyone off to, or somebody referred them to you. These people become a great resource for creating a list. Step two was to segment everything in and sort it into various segments that made sense for prospecting. Again, this is different from email list segmentation. We'll be talking about that later on in another episode, probably in another week or so. Then step three, hey, look, man, pick up the phone and start calling. You can pick up the phone, you can pick up email, you can send out direct letters, you can get a little bit crazy on people and actually start sending out what we call lumpy mail if you really want to. That's where you include something that is not allowing it to lay flat. And it gets people's attention. It's a little bit of a, it wants to invoke some excitement, right? So, but the idea is you call. In fact, the real good plan is if you're going to send out a letter, send out an email, and then make 10 phone calls over the next 2 weeks. Now, if you have a target list of 20 people, that means you've got to have 20 different emails, and you're going to have at least, 40 messages you're going to have to leave. Trick that even Grant Cardone was, because he does so much calling, he says, just don't ever put the handset back into the cradle, or don't do anything except for simply just hang it up and pick it back up again, right? And move on to the next number. You can go through and do a lot of things that way. And that's wonderful because that gives us a chance to just maximize our time, really put our head down, make our calls maybe first thing in the morning or, within an hour or two after arriving at the office. But any way you do it, you're going to do outreach. Now, here's the fourth step. We're not done with prospecting, but we're close enough to the end that it's going to make sense to you. How we're going to move into from know, which was the whole purpose of making our calls, to like and trust. Now, in step 4, we essentially want to become a matchmaker. If somebody wants us to help them, we can do that in the calling phase, and we can do this in the matchmaker phase. But the idea here is we don't necessarily, unless there's a really, really, really good reason to sell somebody at this point. In other words, they need exactly what you have that you do, and there's no question about it. Okay? It would be dumb to pass up a sale at that point. But essentially here, we're going to be looking at a situation where we want to be a matchmaker. We're going to interview these people. We'll want to stop by their office. We'll want to take them out to lunch. We'll want to do something different. And what we really want to find out are 2 things. We want to find the issues that they need solved, and we want to find the issues that they can solve. We want to connect people that might be able to solve their problem or connect them to somebody that needs a problem solved that they do. This engenders a lot of goodwill. It really does. One of the fastest ways you can help a company as a consultant, whether you do anything else or not, is you go in and you help them grow their sales. You help them grow their network. And really in prospecting, we're networking. This is what we're going to build, is a network of people that we can connect out to and spider out to and see the people on the other side of them. And when we get one company over on our right-hand side that matches one company on our left-hand side, we can do what I call middle of the road. You sit down with the people on the left and the people on the right, put them at a table, introduce the two people, let them talk about their business, make their decisions of whether there's any connectivity, any goodness going back and forth. Can they work together? You're just proposing that there might be an opportunity for them to work together. And should they decide to make that happen, life is good for them and you. Now that engenders a lot of like, and that engenders a tremendous amount of trust. Because if you can solve their headaches and you can solve their problems, and mind you, unless we're making a sale, we're not necessarily charging for this. Okay? I want to make that very, very clear. You do not have to transact money at this point. Value is exchanged in many different ways. And trust me, the company that you hooked up to solve their problem, or the company that you hook them up with that needs what they do, oh man, that's going to engender a lot of like, and that's going to engender a lot of trust. But in either case, whether you find issues they need solved or you find issues they can solve, your job is simple. Connect them to the resources or targets that will solve whatever needs to happen. Now, targets. A lot of people say, well, what is that? What is a target? I'll give you a good example. 6 of them, okay? Because these are resources that you want to direct them to. There might be companies. You may have partners, right? Here's your Dream 100 kicking in for you. They may have partner companies that they want to, find some business for. Because remember, everything is all about, we want to give away. We want to help somebody else solve their problems, get their day going, build their business. Because that's really where prospecting gains its strength. That's what Dream 100 is about, is you gain strength. So we talked about companies and partners. People individually. There's a lot of people that do a lot of individual things. I have lots of friends who left the corporate, well, maybe not corporate. They left the workforce and started their own company. That's where we focus on in the B3 Accelerator for startups, is people that have started their own business. They're relatively small and they've been in business less than 2 years. They're usually a single person. I don't have the exact numbers, but I think it was something, something like 75 or more % of all businesses only have one employee in the SMB space. SMB, right? Small and medium business. It's usually the owner. And so it's one employee. So you kind of really can make a people connection there, not so much a company connection. Other resources you can give them are websites, right? I like to give away, some of my favorite websites and where things are. Maybe you have books that you want to refer people to and, help them buy it or help them get it or whatever. Videos. Videos are a wonderful way of being able, there's a lot of value that can be transacted relatively quickly in a series of 10-minute videos. You spend 1 hour and you gain a tremendous amount of knowledge out of videos because you can actually see and hear, and you can see the process if it's done well. You can see something that would make sense. I know that when I wanted to change out the little rubber protector thing, it's a beauty strip on my girlfriend's car. I just went to a video and looked at how do you do it. And people were, yeah, you got to glue this in. You got to, I'm like, right. And then somebody else said, look, just go down to your local XYZ dealer and order the part. And it's easy to snap in, stays in. You should be fine. It won't get all chewed up. Everybody will be happy. So I went down, spent $50 for that beauty strip, snapped it in. Hasn't been a problem since. Go figure. The people like those kinds of quick and easy solutions. And if you can point at them, this is where the whole kind of an idea later on comes into play. But if you can point at videos and books and resources and websites that have the information they need, you're going to be golden. I know I had a former client I hadn't spoken to in 2 years. Bad on me, right? But they had kind of moved into a different realm, and I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. And then I sent an email just going, hey, so-and-so, just thought you might be interested in this. I know this might be a challenge you're facing, so I just thought you might like this. Thanks, Randy. Less than a week later, I got a phone call. Hey, Randy, this is so-and-so. Thank you very much for the video. I really appreciated that. Oh, thanks, website, I think it was, or a video. And do you have some time to come into our office and talk? Well, of course I have time to come in and talk. And that turned into a 2-year contract. Go figure. And it was a good 2-year contract. It was very lucrative. It solved the problems of the business, and it actually solved a lot of the problems of the person who I had connected with, because she could actually let go of an employee who was being substandard in the job. We basically replaced him. I don't want to put people out of business, but, it's reality. If they're not adding value, they're costing money. And so I automated the whole process that this person was using to do their job. And believe me, it was costing the company about 4 or 5 hours a day. And this person couldn't go on vacation because nobody else knew how to do their job. So guess what? I automated it, and now they could let this person go. Go figure how that works. See, this is the part about prospecting people don't understand. You're building relationships. You're connecting people with you and with other people. Prospecting is not anything more than we're establishing relationships to know, like, and trust us. If we do nothing else, we've built a resource that other people can rely on, that we can rely on, right? And then we can make happen what needs to happen every single day. One of the things that a lot of people say is their customer list or their contact list saved them. When all else failed, their list saved them. And I can understand that. I mean, we all can. This is something that makes our businesses and our lives expand, is the people that we connect with. If we can do for them and they can do for us in times of trouble, we know who we can rely on. Because, well, let's face it, they owe us and we owe them. And many times that connectivity, whether we're keeping score or not, we talked about that last time, whether we're keeping score or not, the idea is we know in the back of our head who bought lunch last time. I went out the other day and had lunch with what is essentially a former client that isn't a former client, that's actually a very good friend of somebody that used to work at the company. He's my friend, and yet we went out, we went to lunch, we had a great time catching up. We hadn't seen each other in months. And much in his life had changed. Much in my life had changed. And he had some questions about the business that were really, really good for me, because I actually had to come up with good answers for some of his questions. And I took that message away, and I went, and after we parted ways, I went and I wrote down all those questions that he had, because I know I'm going to get them again. Our resources can help us in so many ways, most of which we're not really prepared for until we get to the point something's been handed to us or something's been expected of us or asked of us, right? And we don't want the expectations to get in the way. That causes a tremendous amount of problems, especially at this level. That's where the trust comes in. We want to be able to trust that that person will be there for us and we can be there for that person. Not, well, if you need me, give me a call. And then you never take their call. No, this is, if you need me, give me a call. If I can't do it, I will move heaven and earth to make it happen for you. That's the difference, is when you have good connections, things happen. What is it Grant Cardone talks about? Take action immediately. When given an opportunity to do something, get it done, right? Help somebody, even if you don't know or think you might get paid for it. Okay? So this kind of wraps up the whole idea of prospecting into 4 basic steps. We talked about the other ones, so if you got any questions, go back a couple of episodes and we can talk more. You can hear more about it. But the essence of what we're trying to do in prospecting is getting somebody to know us, because we damn well can't get any business from people who don't know us. Like us. We are genuine people. We're transparent. We're open. We talk about what we're trying to do, and we hear what they're trying to do, and we see if there's a synergy where both of us can help each other, I should say. And then trust. That's the long-term benefit of doing prospecting, is that other people know they can trust you, you can trust them, and if you can connect up people into a connection of their own, man, you're a winner. And winner, winner, chicken dinner is a great way to go about how we do our business. Notice very little, if anything, about this is sales. We're not selling anybody. But if they want to buy, hey, heaven forfend that I would say no. If I'm the best resource as a target to solve their problems, I will let them know. But I'll also qualify it with look, if you want me to help you with it, I'm more than happy. But if I think somebody else can do it better, man, let's get somebody else in here. And we all know our own limitations. And that's part of our trust. If we say, man, I don't know, that's not something I really specialize in. But you know what? I know somebody over here who does. My insurance agent, my hairstylist, the people that handle, I'm an avid shooter. So all of my guns and ammo and everything came from the same place. All 3 of these places and several of the restaurants that I go to were places that someone else referred me to. They said, yes, go over here. Breakfast is great. We eat there all the time, right? We eat our own dog food. That's not uncommon, especially in business. Here's how you make it happen. Here's where you need to go. Go take care of this. Man, people have networks that are phenomenal. And once you start connecting with other people, your network will be phenomenal. All right? I promise you that. So this is the prospecting. We're going to wrap all this up. What's going to happen on Monday? I don't know. Tomorrow I have my 3rd day of a Grant Cardone workshop, and I'm just buried in that. So much information that I'm absorbing. It's going to be tough, but I'm going to take something out of this and bring it in on Monday and hopefully share it with you in a way that's going to make a lot of benefit for you. And then in the coming weeks, we're going to start interviewing people and talking with people and getting some basic stuff and put it into this podcast so that it makes sense for you. Meanwhile, for now, this is Randy Bridges with The Budding Entrepreneur, wishing you the best in your health, your wealth, your business, your family, everything about you. Take care. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday with I'm not sure what topic, but it'll be interesting. Take care. Have a great day. Bye.